Hello, my name is Andy and I am the Village Idiot. I'm armed with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. I'm using that time to attempt to visit every civil parish in England. You're watching the Derbyshire Dales series. The Dales contain some of the most beautiful British scenery. It's a magnificent area. Here's one of its 109 civil parishes. Welcome back to the Derbyshire Dales, people. Now, we left off last week's episode on the Monsal Trail, and we're still on the Monsal Trail, and we're heading for today's village, a very small one. Now, to get to it, we have to first go through an old railway tunnel, and there it is, right in front of us. That's the Headstone tunnel, and that's the first thing we're going to talk about in the parish of Little Longstone. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. Little Longstone is a linear village sited on a minor road to the west of Great Longstone, just off the B6465 road from Wardlow to Ashford-in-the-Water. As one of the smaller parishes in the Derbyshire Dales, you'd expect there to be very few amenities. Whilst that's partly true, Little Longstone does have things that appeal to visitors, mainly hikers and cyclists. There's not just one but two pubs here, both of which welcome walkers and their dogs with open arms. The village also has a Grade 2 listed Congregational Chapel as well, open during daylight hours. Much like its bigger brother, Little Longstone owes its existence to lead mining mainly. There is a disused mine in the parish boundaries by the name of Pulwell Hill Mine. It's one of a number of scheduled monuments in Little Longstone, the others being bowl barrows. These include one to the west of Castlegate Lane and two to the east of Headstone. Little Longstone's boundaries also include a gorgeous viewpoint, Monsal Head, which overlooks the spectacular Monsal Dale, and our route took us through that spot. It's well worth seeing. Monsal Dale is well known to a lot of people, partly thanks to an old Midland Railway poster of all things, which captured the valley thanks to Headstone viaduct. Oh, and did I mention a tunnel too? Let's have a walk through that as we explore the smaller of the two Longston twins. Our route through Little Longstone actually begins in Ashford-in-the-Water. Most of this tunnel, named Headstone Tunnel, lies within Ashford's boundaries. However, at the other end, we'll be in Monsal Dale, covered by Little Longstone. Let's talk a bit about this tunnel. It's one of 8 on this former railway line. This is the easternmost tunnel of the 8, and it's also the longest, measuring 533 yards. Its outstanding eastern approach cutting has near vertical sides with outcrops that are supported with masonry or brick pillars. Pedestrians are afforded protection from falling rocks by a steel-framed canopy inserted into the tunnel entrance. The eastern half of the tunnel is straight before it gently starts to curve north. Its predominant lining material is brick, and it has some patch repairs. The tunnel is only open to the public during daylight hours. At dusk, gates at both entrances are closed and the lights in the tunnel are switched off. So we've just been coming up with some benefits of a tunnel like this. Number one, we're out of the rain. although the roof is leaking a little bit, so it is wet in places, but generally speaking, we're out of the rain. Another benefit is if it's really, really warm, if you come in here, it'll be really cool. So on the record-breaking 40-degree day that we had last year, I imagine this place would have been the place to come. And you may have noticed too as well, it's a railway tunnel, so it's echoey in here, isn't it, guys? Just a thumbs up from Nikki. Fair enough. Now, when we come out of this tunnel, we're almost immediately onto a viaduct. So we've come out of the tunnel and Nikki's noticed something. What have you noticed, Mrs?
Yeah, you can see a lot of slates in sort of the rock above the tunnel, and then you've got like all these greens for the mosses and whatever's sort of growing up there. It just looks gorgeous. Really nice, really bright colours as well. I mean, today's as dull as ditch water. Been chucking it down with rain. It appears to be baiting off now, but it's just lovely to see something like that just looks...
It's different, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so.
So there's a path immediately to the right as you come out of the tunnel. Now, it says...
with an invisible Hannah on it. She can't see you, so you can't see her.
Yeah, right, okay, fair enough. This video will prove her wrong. The Monsal Trail continues over Headstone Viaduct. Welcome to Monsal Dale. This viaduct is one of the more famous in the Dales. It's 300 feet long and has 5 arches. It was immortalised in a Midland Railway poster. Below us, that's the River Wye, one of Derbyshire's best known rivers. Thanks to the Monsal Trail, it's possible to walk alongside much of the river. It's popular with anglers as it contains rainbow trout and grayling. At the side of the old line, there's a footpath to Monsal Head, where we can get a great view of the valley below. It's steep, and beware, there's no handrail. Halfway up, we found this dedication stone to a man named Peter Higgins. We theorised a few things as to why this would be here. I reckon he would have enjoyed this view over Monsal Dale. This area of natural beauty was formed by glacial meltwater some 330 million years ago. So I didn't know this path existed. It's only thanks to Hannah, who discovered this on the way up the other path, that we found this. Cracking view from here. There is actually a proper viewpoint which is behind the pub over there, which is where we were planning on stopping. So I think we'll go and find that, but I don't think it's going to top this, quite frankly. This is a magnificent view. The only thing is, coming up these steps, you need some stamina. These are very steep, and yeah, you need to be prepared for a long trek. It's not short by any stretch of the imagination. It's tough on the legs, but it's well worth the effort. Once at Monsal Head, it's not hard to see why this is one of the most popular beauty spots in the Peak District, with absolutely fabulous Dales scenery. There are visitor facilities here at Monsal Head, including a car park which charges £5 for all-day parking. There's also a cafe and a block of public toilets owned by the council. It can be a busy place in the height of summer. Strictly speaking, Monsal Head is not a village, it's just a cluster of buildings around this pub, the Monsal Head Hotel. Our plan was to go into the hotel for a break, but it appeared to be closed, so initially we carried on over the road to Butts Road with the intention of walking through Little Longstone village. This gave us another couple of landmarks to see, including this rare George V postbox set into a wall. We were to top this though in a short while. Stick with me. There's also a bus stop on here as well for the same 173 service as we mentioned last week. It was at this point we noticed the hotel was actually open. So yes, it appears they were open, and we spent a good, I want to say 45 minutes to an hour in here. We're just about to make our way out of the hotel. We've been chatting to the one of the people who works here. Was it the owner, Nikki?
I think she's like a manager, but she's a lovely lady anyway.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, definitely lovely. This is a good place to come if you want to
take a break from the walk.
Take a break from the walking, absolutely. Yeah, it's well worth it. Let's go back outside now and see what else we can find in Little Longstone village itself. To get to Little Longstone, the village, we come out of the hotel, straight across the road, and straight down that road there. After a short break in the hotel, we headed down the hill to Little Longstone's Congregational Chapel, which most sources date to around 1870. However, it owes its origin to a change of incumbent at Great Longstone's Church of St Giles. It was built for a congregation founded in 1844, so it's actually a little older. The walls are limestone with rusticated dressings and a slated roof supported by 2 exposed king post trusses. It has a gabled front with a stone bellcote. If you go inside, you can read all about its history. It's open during daylight hours. With walkers in mind, there's even facilities provided for making hot drinks. There's some lovely well-maintained features in here, including an arch above the pulpit, which reads, "They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength." After exploring the inside, we had a little look on the outside too, where Nikki noticed an unusual wreath hanging on the chapel's main door. Check this out.
So yeah, a little cinnamon and orange wreath there. So dried oranges and cinnamon sticks, and
Does it smell like that?
yeah, you can smell the cinnamon.
Cool. Our next stop on Butts Road was outside these holiday cottages, which are directly opposite the chapel. I mean, who wouldn't want a short break out here, I ask you? The road runs downhill for a short way after them, and on the right you'll see Little Longstone's pinfold. Small, but still effective, no doubt. Little Longstone becomes a bit more residential at this point. As with Great Longstone, some of these cottages would have been occupied historically by lead miners. These days, the village is a bit more sleepy, but there are still lots of walkers that pass through here because they'll be heading for the Pack Horse Inn. This historic pub is regarded as one of the best in the Peak District for many reasons. Muddy boots, kids and dogs are all welcomed here. They have a varied food menu and even offer their own gift card scheme, details of which can be found on their website. I've linked it below. So if ever there was a village centre for Little Longstone, this is it. Here's the parish notice board, which Hannah has already put a card on. Thank you very much. There's also the old phone box, which has got the defib machine, and there's also this village pump, which doesn't work, but there's some troughs to go with it, and there's a little plaque which tells you all about them. So let's have a little read of the plaque, shall we? This was spotted by Nikki. Do you want to read it out, Nikki?
So it says, the wells and troughs here used to supply the village, passing travellers and livestock until about 1904, when mains water was brought to the village. They were restored in 1996 jointly by the Peak Park and the parish meeting as a consequence of Little Longstone becoming a conservation area in 1995.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. Right, there's only a few more paces and we're through the village and back to Great Longstone. The last part of this walk took us past a B&B called The Hollow, a delightful Edwardian manor house. At this point, Nikki noticed another postbox. This is an Edward VII wall box, one of the rarest postboxes you'll ever find, because he only reigned for 9 years between 1901 and 1910. And check out these next. Here we have some 17th century village stocks, which are in immaculate condition. These are, quite rightly, Grade 2 listed. Heading back into Great Longstone, there's a few more buildings which didn't feature in that episode which I've managed to catch in this one, Longston Hall and the Manor House. Longston Hall was rebuilt in brick in 1747 by Thomas Wright, when every other building in the village was built of stone. Part of the old house, built in 1600, still remains. Here's the Manor House opposite. The Wright family, by the way, are still represented here, although no family can hold a candle to the Longstons, who have lived in the area for 800 years. Okay, so here we are back at the car after doing the Longston twins, the first two in the sort of northern reaches of the Derbyshire Dales. How have you found the Longston twins, my dear?
Hilly, rainy, but then now sunny.
Yeah, the sun's come out at the wrong time now. It's nice now. After the rain, it's gone away. It's nice and bright and warm, sunny, and all the rest of it. Yeah. But we've still enjoyed ourselves. We've done all sorts of things today. I mean, we've been through a tunnel, been on a viaduct, been in a hotel. In a hotel.
Yeah, found a rare post box.
Yeah.
Found some stocks and a pinfold.
Yeah,
all sorts of stuff between these two villages.
Absolutely, yeah. It is well worth coming to the Longstons. I knew nothing about these two places before I came here. I now know a heck of a lot more, and hopefully this inspires some people out there to come and visit them as well, because the Derbyshire Dales are definitely worth making a trip out for. Yep. I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot. This has been the Parish of Little Longston, and I'm out.